What is up, friends? It's Joelle and welcome from my new room in LA. You already know I'm filming this at 5:20 a.m. so I'm still in my pajamas. But we've hit a major life milestone, friends. Moving to LA is something that I knew would happen since I was 17. I did a little USC summer film camp when I first discovered my passion for entertainment, representation, and just building shared experiences by the media we consume. It was a magical summer, and from then I knew that to pursue the career that I wanted, I had to live in LA one day. So going to college after that, I took all my classes knowing I will make it to entertainment. I'm going to take the right film classes, the right economics and business classes. I'm not trying to get screwed over as a creative with no quantitative skills, you know? Even though I had no idea how to actually get to the entertainment industry, I was completely oblivious. I had no connections. I was like, God, I'm gonna make it here. So if you've been watching me here, you've probably seen that very slow progression of various internships, taking different film classes, and ultimately, after graduation, ending up at BuzzFeed. It was at that point actually that exactly 2 years ago in March 2020, I had packed my bags to come down to LA thinking I was pursuing my dreams at BuzzFeed in LA. And of course, we all know what happened. That very weekend, I got the call from HR saying, hey, you actually don't need to move down here. We're shutting our offices indefinitely. We'll let you know when you can come down. Like everyone, I thought that was gonna be for a few weeks, turned into a few years. And even though obviously this period of time of waiting, of being stuck inside due to COVID was really hard on a lot of us for a lot of reasons, for me it was also a huge blessing that I have to acknowledge of getting to spend time with my family and being able to really focus on developing other aspects of my life, being able to learn how to be alone with myself for very long periods of time, reprioritizing even creating content because I had so much more time to make things on my own. And I really just learned how to slow down in general. But of course, like every season, it has to come to an end at some point. And for me, that time is now. Though I'm no longer at BuzzFeed, my new company that I'm working at has announced when they're having a mandatory return to office. So here I am in LA, and of course, as an extremely sentimental person, I had to document and share with you all my process of saying goodbye, starting to actually be a real young adult here in LA. It is Wednesday, March 9th, and I am officially starting to pack for my move from San Francisco to LA. Oh my gosh. Ugh. It hasn't really hit me yet that I actually have to leave my home and go be a real person on my own. I'm not really looking forward to it, but here we are. It's like an option. Finally happened, where I cried for the first time today about moving. You know, you guys might be like, why the hell is this girl crying? She gets to go live her dream and do her thing, and that is true, but I am also a baby, and I've been living with my family for the past 3 years, and I feel like while a lot of people get sick of their family very quickly and are excited to have their own space and that sort of thing, I like the idea of having my own space, and I'm very excited about this next chapter in life, but I'm also an extremely sentimental person, and I get very sad at the prospect of no longer being part of my family's everyday life, especially as my parents are getting older and aging. I've really enjoyed being able to be there with them and for them throughout the past few years, and thinking about no longer being able to be part of my parents' everyday lives makes me really sad. I don't know if this is normal, I don't know if this is super weird and if most people would just be like so excited to leave home, but I have just like so many feelings So it just feels very chaotic. I know that this is like a good thing and that everything that's gonna come is going to be very good, but just letting myself marinate in the feelings, you know. Well, what do we have here? A little smirk.
So, just something there. Then we would have to run it through them first.
I never thought I'd be the type of person to be addicted to coffee because though I love coffee, I always max have 1 cup, but I didn't have my coffee today because we're packing a bunch of stuff and I have a headache now. I'm gonna say that maybe it's partially based off of me just starting my period, but I'm kind of embarrassed. Like I really took it as a point of pride that I was like, yeah, I'll never be addicted to coffee. But the Lord finds ways to humble us all.
Random food. I reject that.
Oh, can I have a gummy vitamin?
These are so disgusting.
Wait, I like them.
Ew, I hate them. They feel how sweaty they feel.
Danielle, they're not sweaty. Stop, just drop it. Oh my gosh, we're matching. We're both wearing like ugly green sweatshirts. If you don't like them, then why are you eating them?
Because I want to be healthy.
These aren't even that good for you, but it's like making like 2% difference in your life. Oh my gosh, you look like you're gonna vomit. I stepped on Danielle's toe. Good job, queen. Done with our workout at 7:15. Thriving. Hi. Sorry.
Kind of everyone else.
Okay, literally right as I was walking out here, I got a call from my boss. Good morning. We're going to the gym for the last time in who knows how long. It is Friday and the movers are coming to fill up the truck. I know you guys are probably like, Joelle, you've never lived anywhere before. How do you have so many things? I have a lot. I'm bringing down some furniture, a lot of boxes. I'm bringing a lot of kitchen stuff because you already know your girl's got to have a well-stocked kitchen. They're gonna come fill up the truck and then drive down tomorrow. Tomorrow is when me and my family go down, though my mom actually had to go today to bring the check for the apartment I'm signing with. It is a little sus. Our leasing officers, they have been very bad communicators and have thrown a lot of last-minute curveballs at us, threatening to drop us if we don't comply with their demands. And though on principle I'd normally be like, screw that, we don't need them, I do in fact need them because they managed the one building we actually liked. Not starting out on a strong foot. It's been a very chaotic week because of this leasing office, but we're gonna hope that they're not scamming us and gonna take all of our money and not give me the keys tomorrow. Hey, Johnny. Dad making his famous carbonara. That's a lot. That's a lot of pasta, Dad, for just the two of us. I like black pepper on it.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I can show you. There's a kalguksu place, but really good kalguksu and bossam kimchi.
How it all plays out.
Yeah, you're not really supposed to fish though. Last meal in San Francisco for a while. Wow.
Yeah, you're not always with a big group.
You and your stinky bud.
Did I give you too much wine?
I'll drink it throughout the night.
It's a nice glass.
Good?
I love homemade whipped cream.
Shawnee, we have to let you go to our friend's house now. Time for us to say goodbye for a little bit. I know, I'm sorry. Shawnee. I'm sorry you have to go.
You have no idea what I'm saying. You have no idea.
Last time when she left, we were like really sad, like,
Oh.
we were hoping we could have the evening that time.
Righty, y'all. It is 11 p.m. I'm all packed. My room doesn't look empty because I'm not actually taking a lot of stuff here, but I am all packed. Retainers in. I'm ready to get a good night's sleep to drive down to LA tomorrow morning. I know I haven't had enough time to like fully process this, and it'll probably hit me like the second my parents leave or something. I'm just gonna break down crying. We have a very exciting weekend ahead of us. Bye bye room. See you probably in a few months when my family has me come back home. You ready for this 6 to 8 hour drive?
Koreans still are leading the gaming industry, huh?
Morning, Dan Coop. I just spat. I wonder if you can see my spit on camera.
Yeah.
We're going to get some more home things.
Oh, you know what?
It's like, if you see like, you know what? You see like salmon, Dad? I know, we are speed shopping right now because I have a internet appointment at noon. Kitchen and bathroom. Oh wow. Like one like big pillow. Okay. It's a busy day of buying things and cleaning, and we're getting some food. But other than that, we're gonna go back to cleaning. Feels like a nice. I think that's a different one. Weren't we just?
glass.
These three on each side. How is it looking? I don't really. Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry. You look so pretty. Like,
And then something steady talk.
this is oh yeah, that's perfect.
Joelle? Okay.
And then are they? And should I get? I don't even know. Yeah. Oh, and then did you want your bingsu? Crying saying bye to Danielle in the H Mart parking lot, so I'm literally crying in H Mart.
Bro, I ain't dying.
Though I'm super thankful that my mom was able to stay with me for the next week, still saying goodbye to Danielle, my younger sister, and my dad was so hard. I feel like I've been so caught up in the logistics and the practical aspect of moving that I didn't really have time to process the emotional part of just no longer being part of the everyday life of my family. First night, as much as I'm sad about leaving and no longer being with them on a regular basis, what I think I feel more overwhelmingly is the gratitude that I have for having that time together. I know I'm literally just moving within the same state, about 6 hours south of where my family is. Some people move all the way across the world, but I'm gonna let myself be dramatic as I'm processing a change in life. And honestly, my tears are just a representation of how much I love and appreciate my family. And then you'll see in my next vlog that I'm still very much in the process of moving in, settling down, and my mom was so helpful throughout that whole process. I did also just want to chat with you guys about how I'm feeling, what we're going through right now as we're starting a new chapter in LA. LA was this idea I had in my mind for so long that now that I'm here, I'm a little like, oh, it's time to deliver on all the dreams and aspirations that I had always told myself one day when I'm in LA, I'll be able to work on accomplishing that. And now it feels like there is no excuse for my failure. I have eliminated the barriers between me and my ideas of certain successes that I want to achieve, and now it kind of feels like it's all on me. And at the same time, I still feel extremely lost as to how I'm supposed to achieve certain goals, and even to whether the goals that I originally had when I was in high school, when I was 17, are accurate and true to today. But honestly, one of the most comforting things when I'm spiraling or just feeling extremely anxious about the future is remembering the process that God took me through to get to LA from a high schooler with literally no idea what Hollywood looks like or how people got there, and all the little steps that had to come together for me to be where I am now. And I feel like the evidence of every tiny little thing that just kind of fell into place is a reminder that if God's gotten me this far, he's not gonna leave me hanging now that I've gotten here. And even when I don't see the full picture, which I never do, my willingness to participate in what it is that God has for me allows him to shape that path however he pleases, and I am along for the ride. And you guys get to come along with me. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and hopefully any struggle I go through, you can have the benefit of learning vicariously through someone else. Thank you also so much for anyone who's supported me or encouraged me along the way in pursuing my dreams in a career in entertainment. Just being here and watching is already so encouraging to me that I have an audience and a little family that cares. And I'm really thankful that I have the means to share this process with you. And much more LA content coming soon. Love you, Jesus loves you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.